Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I am going to talk to you about some great gifts for writers since it's close to the holidays, and I wanted to share just a few of my favorite things that I know I would be really excited to receive. So I broke this down based on price, but I will also mention what type of writer it's going to be good for. Obviously, I am an indie author, so I'm going to have more stuff that would be good for indie authors or for aspiring writers as well. So without further ado, let's get down to it. I started with cheap or free gifts. So this is anything ranging from $0 up until about $20 or so. I'm going to start with the free stuff. You could, if they already have a book out and you like their genre, specifically if you like their genre, you could read and review their book. That would probably make them very happy. You could also make book merch for your author, especially if they already have a book out. This is just something that would be a cool physical representation of their book. I've made book merch for myself because I really like how it looks and I think it's just kind of fun. I made myself this little book keychain for War of the Twin Swords. Let me see if we can get it in the light there. There we go. I also made myself some bookmarks. This one is a Spellbound themed bookmark, which is really hard to see because of the lighting, but it's there. It says, if you refuse to protect nature, don't be surprised when nature bites back. Oh, there we go. If I go farther away, it works. There we go. So I made myself this bookmark, and this was a Spellbound one. I just used the cardstock and some Mod Podge. It is a little bit sticky. You might want to use something other than Mod Podge or maybe just laminate it, but this is what I ended up going with for that one. And then I did this one, which didn't turn out as well. I did this one for the Twin Swords / Amy's Rebellion. This is Amy. This is for Amy because her familiar is an amethyst lynx. So this is a little amethyst lynx, that's why it's purple. And I have some little amethysts here as well. Another thing you could do if you are artistically inclined is you could draw their character or some other sort of fan art relating to their book. I know personally that's something I've always wanted to receive but haven't. Another thing you could do if they are already published is you could request their book at the library. That's one way for indie authors especially to get into libraries, and it's always really greatly appreciated. The next thing you could do is memberships. I'm going to start from the cheapest one and work my way up from there. The first one I'm going to mention is For the Words. It's really good as a motivational tool. They also have forums, but I personally haven't really used the forums. They have contests, games, and all kinds of other stuff. I really like to use them because they motivate me to write more. Since I started with For the Words, I think I've written 300,000 plus words. And before I did For the Words, I was really, really bad at having a writing routine. I'm still not excellent at it, but I'm getting better and writing more and more. So that's one thing you could do. They're about $4 to $5 a month. For a year, it's $40 or $50 if you wanted to get them a yearly membership, or you could just purchase for 1 or 2 months, give them a chance to try it out. They even have a 1-month free trial that you could do as well. Next thing I'm going to mention is Bookfunnel. Alternatively, you could also introduce them to Story Origin, which is free as of right now, but Bookfunnel is about $15 a month if you want to do email integration. It's a really great tool for promotion. So this would be good for more of the writers that already have something written or that are trying to build their newsletter. And I personally have used it to grow my newsletter from I think 300 or 400, and now I'm at about 1,500 people. So it's a good tool to build your newsletter. Additionally, you could do Skillshare. Skillshare is about $19 a month. I know for me it was really good, especially when I was trying to improve in between my first and second book, and I really liked it. They have free trials, so the person that you're getting it for could also try it out beforehand, but this would be for like after that free trial runs out. And the next one I want to talk about is also for if they're in the revision stage, like maybe they've done a rough draft and now they're revising. It's called Prowriting Aid. It's kind of similar to Grammarly if you're familiar with Grammarly. They're about $20 a month. You could also do a yearly membership, which is about $80, and they'll occasionally run sales like on Black Fridays. Next things I'm going to talk about are physical gifts. So there are quite a few things you could do for this price range. One of my favorite choices is just bookish related things like bookmarks. I am a sucker for bookmarks. This is one of the ones that one of my friends made for me. You could also do pens, especially really nice pens. Like I got this one as a gift years and years ago and I still have it, and that's saying something because I think I got this almost 10 years ago. I also have like sign pens that I like too, so you could get them book signing pens if they're already published, and they'll probably appreciate that as well. And in addition, I don't have physical items to represent them, but a couple of other things you could get. If they're still in the beginning stages, they're not really familiar with structure and things like that, you could have them do Save the Cat Writes a Novel. You could get that book for them, and that's about $11. And a couple of other things you could get for them would be bookish merchandise, especially like writer-centric or book-centric mugs. Like one of my favorite ones is there's a Book Dragon mug, and I've seen several iterations of the Book Dragon mug, but I love stuff like that. Also, you could get them merch from their favorite author or from one of their favorite book series. If assuming that they like to read. Most writers do, not all of us, but generally you can go with bookish things as a safe bet. One particular thing that I really like is called the Emotional Thesaurus. I believe, okay, so for the Emotion Thesaurus, it was $5.99 on the Kindle and about $17 if you want to get the paperback for them. That book is the first in a series, so there's like 7 books in total. So you could get them the first one if you think that's going to be the most helpful for them, or if you know what they particularly struggle with when it comes to emotions. For me, I think the Emotional Thesaurus was the best for me because I really struggle with like variation in body language because I don't pick up well on body language in life. But there's also ones on emotional wounds. There's one on urban setting and guides to city spaces from the same author. So you could look through the series and see which one is the best for them. All of them are about like $5 or $6 for the Kindle and about like $17 or $18 for the paperback. And a couple more things that you could get for them are One Stop for Writers. This has an Emotional Thesaurus as well. It also has a ton of other resources. Like they have world building questions, and they have timelines, story maps, thesauruses, idea generators. So if your writer struggles with ideas, so I'd say it's good for a lot of different phases of writers, from beginner to intermediate. It's just really helpful overall. And they recently had a Black Friday sale, so I ended up getting like a whole year, or not a whole year, I ended up getting a 6-month membership for like $50. If you wanted to just get them a 1-month membership, on the cheaper end, it would be $9. And then some other things you could get your writer that are not too expensive would be just candles, scented candles. If they are asthmatic or have allergies like me, probably stick with something that's like a little bit milder. Like I like this one. I got this from one of my students. And notebooks are always a good bet. I particularly like them for brainstorming, and I used to, before I got better at typing, I used to write out all my stories in notebooks as well, so I have a ton of writing notebooks. If your author is in the marketing phase, a couple of things you could do that are in the lower price range would be books for marketing. One of the ones that I particularly like is called Help My Facebook Ads Suck. But there are a ton of other books out there like this, so marketing related books are really good. And moving on to the mid-range gifts. So these gifts are going to be between $20 and $50. One thing you could get them is a Scribbler box. So that one is a writer-specific subscription box that it sends them things every month. You could just get it for them for 1 month or get more than 1 month, up to you. And one of my other favorite things, which I have personally, is the book launch planner. For me, I'm actually doing a book launch right now, so I've been using it. I have it down here because I'm working on putting information down in the book launch planner. And some additional things you can get. So these are more on the services aspect, so non-tangibles. For the mid-range would be Scrivener. That one's about $50 or so. It's $49. Campfire Pro, if you get it without the world building pack, it's $49. If you want to get it with the world building pack, it's a little more, I believe around like $79 for a year. And these would both be good for writers that are in that kind of drafting stage. So it's good for doing the world building and for writing out their draft. Scrivener can also be used for book formatting, although it's not the best book formatting program out there. And the last gift that I want to mention for the mid-range pricing is Duotrope. That one is about $50 for a year. Essentially what it is it tells you who is looking for submissions as far as writing goes. It tells you if you need an agent, and you can also see what their average response time is, how much they pay, etc. It has a lot of really great information. I used it specifically when I was looking to publish short stories, and they were super helpful for me. I think I ended up submitting to like 100 different places through Duotrope specifically, and they ended up being really helpful. I do have one short story that I ended up publishing, and that was published through a friend of mine's anthology that I ended up meeting her on Twitter. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the expensive gifts. Now these are $50 plus, and a lot of these are things that would be very useful for indie published authors. The first thing I want to mention is Vellum. This is a Mac-only software, but it can also be used with Mac in Cloud if they have a PC. It's $250, so this is one of the pricier ones, but it saves a lot of money for indie authors who are looking to publish prolifically because it helps you format your book and it's super user-friendly. A couple of other things you could do are Masterclass. That one is between $90 and $180. It's $90 if you just want one class for them, or if you want to spring for a full unlimited subscription for 1 year, then it's $180. They essentially have a lot of classes on writing and craft by different writers. This would be good if they want to do some professional development and just really improve their writing. And additionally, in the higher price range, you could do writing conferences. So Self-PubCon is free. It's a self-publishing advice conference, so you could pay for their all-access pass. That one is a little bit more expensive, or you could help them sign up for the free one if they're not already aware of it. But for the passes, it is OLLI, Alliance of Independent Authors, also known as OLLI. They have a self-publishing con, which is free, but if you want to get the full access after the conference is over, so for 6 months, it's about $199 to get the full access. Okay, but those are all of the gift ideas I have for you. If you liked this video, go ahead and click that like button, and you can subscribe to my channel down below, and let me know what are some of your favorite gifts that you've received if you're an author. Alright, that's all. Thanks. Bye.